Imagine this. A quiet man lives a simple life. Same job, same clothes, no fancy car, no spotlight. No one ever suspects he's a millionaire. Then one day, he dies and leaves behind millions. How? It wasn't luck. It wasn't genius. It was how he handled money, quietly, patiently, year after year. Morgan Housel's The Psychology of Money doesn't ask how much you earn. It asks something deeper. How do you think about money? How do you feel about it? And how do those feelings shape your choices? Because wealth isn't just built with numbers. It's built with mindset. This video explores how real wealth is created, not by showing off, but through patience, steady decisions, and understanding human nature. Because money isn't just math. It's a mirror of our fears, hopes, habits, and emotions. Wealth isn't about your bank balance. It's about how you start your day and what you're free to say no to. In the next 5 chapters, we'll explore powerful ideas that can change the way you see money forever, not just through strategy, but through psychology, emotion, and freedom. Ready to rethink everything you thought you knew about wealth? Let's begin. Chapter 1. The Invisible Power of Luck and Risk. We often treat success like a formula. Work hard, make smart choices, never give up, and it is equal to success. But life doesn't follow a formula, because behind every story, 2 silent forces are always at play: luck and risk. Take Bill Gates. Yes, he was smart, but in 1968, when computers were rare, he happened to attend one of the few high schools in America that had one. That single twist of fate gave him a head start most people couldn't even imagine. Now consider Kent Evans, Gates's close friend. Same passion, same intelligence, same dream of building something big. But Kent died in a climbing accident before he could graduate. His story ended there. Gates's story became history. Morgan Housel puts it simply: success isn't as good as it looks. Failure isn't as bad as it seems. Luck and risk are 2 sides of the same coin, and they flip both ways. Think about Jesse Livermore. In the early 1900s, he was one of Wall Street's biggest names. He made millions by betting against the market during the 1929 crash. But in the years that followed, he lost everything. He died broke. So what's the lesson? Don't beat yourself up when things go wrong, and don't get carried away when they go right. You can't remove luck or risk, but you can build a system that survives them. Stay prepared. Stay humble. Because no matter how careful you are, life can hit from a direction you didn't see coming. And the most important thing, stay in the game long enough until luck swings your way again. Because success isn't just about what you do. It's about when and where you do it. And the biggest mistake is copying someone else's path without noticing the invisible forces that shaped it. Chapter 2. Getting rich is not the same as staying rich. We love stories like these. A small company turns into a billion-dollar business. An investor makes a fortune with one lucky move. An influencer becomes famous overnight. But here's the truth. Many people lose that money just as fast. Because getting rich and staying rich are 2 very different things. Getting rich takes courage. You need to take risks, start new things, make bold choices, ask for more. That's how you enter the game. But staying rich? That takes something else: patience, humility, knowing when to stop. Look at Richard Fuscone, a former top executive at Merrill Lynch. He lived a luxury life, borrowed too much, and went bankrupt. Or Allen Iverson. He earned over $200 million as an NBA star, but expensive spending, bad investments, and no plan left him in trouble. Now think about Warren Buffett. He didn't chase fast money. He didn't try to double his wealth overnight. He made slow, steady decisions for 70 years, and he became one of the richest people in history. Charlie Munger once said, "The first rule of compounding is to never interrupt it unnecessarily." It's not about big wins. It's about avoiding big mistakes. Everyone asks, how do I get rich? Start a business, buy crypto early, flip houses, take risks. But almost no one asks, how do I stay rich? And that's the real question. Staying rich isn't just about smart choices. It's about how you feel. Because once you have money, keeping it is not just about logic. It's about emotions, greed, impatience, the need for more. These are the feelings that destroy wealth. That's why staying rich starts with inner balance. Yes, take smart risks to grow, but once you've made it, shift your mindset from chasing more to protecting what you have. Because in the money game, the winner isn't the one who shines the brightest. It's the one who stays in the game the longest. Chapter 3. Real wealth is invisible. When a Ferrari drives by, what do you think? That guy must be rich. But all you really know is that he bought a $400,000 car. You don't know how much money he has left. He could be deep in debt. That's the illusion of wealth. In the early 1990s, MC Hammer became famous with You Can't Touch This song. He had around $33 million at that time, but his flashy lifestyle and overspending drained it fast. Looking rich is easy. Credit cards, payment plans, designer clothes, fancy vacations, anyone can do it. But being truly rich is about things you don't see. It's about the money you don't spend, the investments that grow quietly, the feeling of financial safety. In 2014, a janitor named Ronald Reed passed away. He drove an old car, wore the same clothes, lived simply. No one thought he was wealthy, but when he died, he left behind $8 million. How? He spent decades investing in strong, steady companies, quietly and patiently. No one saw his wealth, because real wealth doesn't show off. It's quiet, but powerful. That's why someone earning $50,000 a year can retire early, while someone making $300,000 might still live paycheck to paycheck. It's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. And here's the twist. The people who look richest often aren't, because truly wealthy people don't need to prove anything. They're busy buying back their time, freedom, and peace of mind. But here's where it gets tricky. Money decisions aren't just about logic. Money isn't just numbers, it's emotion. And most financial advice misses that. Experts talk about money like it's cold math, but in real life, our choices are shaped by feelings: fear, hope, stress, trust. Let's say you invest in the stock market. The smartest move? Put your money in and leave it alone. But what happens when the market drops 50%? Your emotions kick in. You panic. You sell. You lock in your losses. That's why most investors fail. Not because they don't know what to do, but because they can't handle the emotions that come with doing it. Real wealth isn't just about how much you earn. It's about how well you manage your emotions. Because invisible wealth isn't just in your bank account. It's in your decisions, your patience, your silence, and your steady habits. Chapter 4. The Trap of More. Let me ask you something. How much money would truly satisfy you? Did any number pop into your head? Now ask yourself, if you reach that number, will you stop? Or will the finish line move forward? That's one of the sneakiest traps in personal finance. Always chasing more. And it doesn't just drain your wallet, it wears down your soul. Housel says, the hardest financial skill is getting the goalpost to stop moving, and the numbers prove it. Most people say they'd feel rich if they earned 2 or 3 times more than they do now, but that gap never closes, unless you decide to close it. Take Ika Batista. He was once worth $30 billion, one of the richest people in the world, but he wanted more. He made aggressive bets in energy and mining, and lost 99% of his wealth. His companies collapsed. His debts exploded, all because he couldn't stop climbing. Housel sums it up perfectly. There is no reason to risk what you have for what you don't have and don't need. Let's be honest. We all compare ourselves to others. We scroll through social media and see fancy lifestyles. But here's the twist. When you see someone driving a Ferrari, you don't think, that person is amazing. You think, if I had that car, people would think I'm amazing. Housel calls this the man-in-the-car paradox. We spend money to earn admiration, but admiration doesn't come from stuff. It comes from character, humility, and peace of mind. And here's where emotions come in. Because knowing what's enough isn't just a financial skill, it's a mental one. Real satisfaction doesn't come from outside approval. It comes from inner balance. Remember, the richest person isn't the one with the most toys. It's the one who can say, I already have everything I need. Chapter 5. Freedom is the real flex. The biggest gift money can give you is the power to say no. No, I don't want to work this weekend. No, I'm taking a month off to travel. No, I want to focus on what really matters. That's real freedom. Housel says it best. The highest dividend money pays is the ability to do what you want, when you want, with who you want for as long as you want. And you don't need millions to get there. Just a little space, a little breathing room, a little savings. Think of two people. One is stuck in a toxic job. His boss was controlling, the hours were long, the environment was draining, but he had no savings, so he couldn't quit. He had to show up every day because he had no other choice. On the other hand, the one who saved aggressively for a few years. When his job started to burn him out, he left. No panic, no fear. He simply said, "I'm done." That's what they call an emergency fund. Money that lets you walk away from bad situations. You don't need to be a millionaire. Even 6 to 12 months of emergency savings can change your life. Getting fired won't break you. A bad boss won't trap you. Your time is guided by freedom, not fear. But here's the thing. This isn't just about money. It's also about emotion. Saving, investing, spending less. They're all smart moves, but we're not robots. We're emotional beings. And when it comes to money, being reasonable is often better than being perfectly logical. Build wealth, invest wisely, earn more, but don't forget the goal, because the real flex isn't luxury, it's freedom. To sum up, one of the biggest myths about money is thinking it's just about numbers. But as Morgan Housel reminds us, financial success isn't about what you know, it's about how you behave. Wealth isn't measured by how much you earn. It's measured by how peacefully you live. And that peace doesn't come from perfect investment strategies. It comes from how you think. The psychology of money teaches us that real financial success doesn't live in spreadsheets. It lives in patient habits, reasonable choices, and emotional strength. These 5 insights aren't just about making money. They're about building a life that feels free, clear, and deeply satisfying. Because the best financial plan isn't the one with the highest return. It's the one that gives you peace of mind. If this video inspired you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. See you in the next video.